Hello out there, it's me, it's your girl Tisha from inside the Quirky mind. And let me tell you, today we're going to talk about the Masked Singer, and we're going to talk about the guys who we think that are inside the dolls. We're going to talk about and discuss their latest performance. So, this performance, they had 4 dolls, but only 2 were singing and moving. So, for me, that makes me believe that there really are not going to be no more real Russian dolls with people inside of it singing. I just think that the other dolls out there are props. But last week there were 3 dolls singing, and this week we only had 2 dolls up on stage singing, but you definitely could hear all 3 voices. I heard Taylor, I heard Isaac, and I definitely heard Zach Hanson high falsetto. So all 3 guys are singing, but there are only 2 dolls on stage. I do believe that that is part of their package and their gimmick to confuse the audience, but also to confuse the judges as well. So let's get into the clues, okay? There were just so many clues going around in that clue package, but I'm only going to discuss a few because I could be here all day long discussing my many Hanson conspiracies and theories. So the big one that stood out to me, because I live in Wisconsin and I have actually seen Hanson perform in Milwaukee, was the Milwaukee clue package. First of all, we know that Hanson has performed at many state fairs, and Wisconsin is definitely known for their state fairs. Not only that, but the guys have sung several times in Milwaukee at certain festivals such as Summerfest, which isn't a state fair, but it is more of a musical bash of music for at least like 2 weeks. And then we also know, if you are a Hanson fan, that Hanson has a song on their album, Middle of Nowhere, that is called Man from Milwaukee. So that kind of ties me into that this Russian doll conspiracy that they could be Hanson. That solidifies to me more and more that yes, the Russian dolls are Isaac, Taylor, and Zach. Another clue package that they had was jelly beans. And if you are a fan since 1997, you will know that Hanson has said that one of their favorite snacks on tour was jelly beans. And a fun little tidbit, when the band was on the Rosie O'Donnell show, there was a fan who was able to meet them on stage, and she gave them like all of these red jelly beans. So to me, that is another clue package about the jelly beans tying Hanson all together. They also talk a lot about New York and selling out like the biggest stadiums. And if you are a fan of Hanson, you know that in the early 1990s that this band was selling out stadiums. This was before NSYNC and before Backstreet Boys and before Britney Spears. They were selling out stadiums, and they sold out a lot of big ones in New York. And they also have some kind of cool ties to New York. They were one of the first guests to ever host TRL, which is Total Request Live. And if you are a millennial like me who grew up in the 2000s, you know that TRL was the place to be, to listen to your favorite band. They had artists coming on all the time, like Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, 98 Degrees, Christina Aguilera, Limp Bizkit, all of those people from that era. And if you know that Hanson actually they kind of shut down some streets because the girls are getting kind of crazy out of the TRL building. And also they were one of the first guests to actually like host a whole show by themselves. If you are able to look on YouTube, you can find that Hanson did like a whole show of TRL, and they were actually quite regulars on TRL, hosting, coming on as guests, and also performing. So yeah, those 3 things for me still solidified that this band, Hanson, who I have loved and adored for 20 plus years, that they are inside of the Russian dolls. And now let's get to the performance. Okay, So the performance was good. I always will believe that no matter what Hanson does, that they strive to be very good at what they do. If you are a Hanson fan, if you have followed them, you know that the band, they're pretty much perfectionists, especially Taylor. Especially Taylor. So I know that these guys practiced the song and that they found the perfect harmonies to go with the song. And by the way, they sung Bruno Mars' 24 Carats. And I really did like the song. I did think they did a really good job. I love Zach's falsettos. One of the things that I find funny about Zach's falsettos is that during the middle of nowhere and during like the song, the album This Time Around, Zach went through a voice change where his voice was going high and low and high and low. So like to hear him inside that Russian doll, getting those high notes, it's like, rock on, rock on, rock out, Zach, show your range. And I absolutely love that some people have guessed Justin Timberlake. Like, okay, I guess I can see it, but yes. So they sung 24 Karat. They did a really good job. I love the energy. I loved the dancing around them. I liked it, but it was so weird because as a Hanson fan, I'm definitely not used to having dancers on stage or even seeing them try to do choreography. So for a fan who is just used to seeing Hanson on stage rocking out with their guitar and their drums, their instruments, it's just kind of like ironic to see them on stage with dancers all around them. But overall, I would give this performance a solid B-. It wasn't my favorite song, but they did this song justice and they did a really good job. And also in the performance, there was some clues. On one of the hats, they had the Roman numerals 24. And if you are a fan, you will know that this year actually marks 24 years since Middle of Nowhere was released, and that's their single Mbop, which went multi-platinum. So that's I kind of like that kind of throw-in that they had. Also, one of the Russian dolls had on like this gold medallion. And if you watch again, you can see the engraving. It looked like one of the temples that you would see in Tokyo. And to me, that kind of represented more of Hanson because Hanson put out a VHS that was called Tosa Tokyo Middle of Nowhere. And it basically was like this 2-hour VHS that documented them being on tour, behind the stage, music, and also Hanson kind of like talking about personally about their journey into music. So with all of that stuff, with the music, the song, the clue packages that came out this week, I am more than convinced that when they are revealed, that this will be no other than Hanson. Now, I do have one fear when it comes to Hanson, and that is the Yeti. I have said that I haven't thought that there had not been another musical act or celebrity up there that was as good as Hanson. Sorry, maybe I'm being biased, but it's true. But the Yeti came out and like blew me away. I was like, oh, Hanson has some real competition here. And I definitely feel that the Yeti is Omarion from the band B2K that also came out in the early 2000s as well. And I was talking to a couple of other people online, digging further into the Masked Singer catalog, and there are other fans who definitely say, I know that voice. That voice is no other than Omarion. So my only fear that I have with the Masked Singer and the Russian Dolls is that they have some really, really, really steep competition coming from the Yeti. So I'm hoping that the next coming weeks that of the Masked Singer, that the boys kind of pick some more better songs that I feel that probably will fit their voices more, and that could probably win over the judges and the people who are voting. I was very happy to see that at least 2 people on the panel were thinking that Hanson could be the Russian Doll. And let me tell you something, my mother called and said, are you watching the Masked Singer? They guessed Hanson. I was like, oh, okay, Mom, that's cool. So I love the fact that people are calling me up and saying, hey, I think the Russian Dolls are Hanson. Could it be Hanson? Like, yeah, it's Hanson. So I hope you like my little recap, my clue packages that I picked up on. And everyone out there who is enjoying the Masked Singer, I hope you love it. And not only that, but I hope that they're picking up some new fans who are able to see that the boys are still here, they're still rocking out, and they are still making good music. So everyone out there, it's okay to be you. It's okay to be brave. And remember, it's okay to be a little bit weird sometimes. Bye, everyone.